watch the director's cut, I
Right.
think is the point of all this.
So the long and short version of the director's cut of the movie is Donnie experiences the creation of a tangent universe, though he's unaware of it at the time. And what happens is he hallucinates a character in a giant bunny suit named Frank the Rabbit. And Frank wakes him up in the middle of the night, takes him out of his room, again, because Frank is a manipulated dead. And when he's out of his room, the jet turbine crashes through his room. So Frank had to save Donnie's life so that he could fix... Jesus. So that he could fix the... so that he could save the universe, essentially. Yes. And everything that happens after that is either Frank as the manipulated dead or the manipulated living, which would be the other characters, guiding, either consciously in the case of Frank or subconsciously in the case of pretty much everyone else, Donnie, the living receiver, towards the event where he would be able to move the artifact from the tangent universe back to the present universe. The primary universe.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, and then every event, every interaction, everything that happens is to that end. And then the end of the movie is him doing that, is creating the wormhole or time portal or whatever you want to call it to snatch he uses telekinesis to break off the turbine from his mom's plane and sends it back through the time portal and into the primary universe and crashes into his room that he's actually in that one. But so that's like the director's cut theory, all that explained. That's what's going on in the movie. I think that's not even my favorite way to watch it, though.
Okay.
Because I think there can be something really satisfying in watching a movie that has that level of depth when it's really fleshed out and it can hold its own and stand by itself in context, and you can watch it like multiple times and figure all that stuff out. This movie isn't like that. It doesn't have that level of depth, and it doesn't have the ability for it to stand on its own and for you to be able to figure those things out contextually.
There's no way.
Without the director's cut just putting pictures of a book on the screen that literally spell it out.
Yeah.
So...
Because when I watched the theatrical version, and then when I read some of these theories, they were like, oh yeah, he creates this portal and then sends the jet engine back. I was like, well, how? They were like, oh, he's got superpowers and he made the portal with water.
Right.
I was like,
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Like what? How?
Sure, yeah.
This isn't explained.
That's one way, yeah.
Like it's hinted at, which honestly, I don't think that the director's cut was retconned, because it would, if that wasn't the way that it was intentionally meant to be shown, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I should probably go ahead and just ask this question now, because I'm in that moment where I want to blow past it and then just like act like I know what you were talking about. What's retconned?
Yeah, retconned is, I'm trying to remember what the con is actually short for. It's retroactively constructed, maybe, but it's basically when you go back, like let's say after a story is written, and change something about the story for it to make more sense.
Okay.
Or to serve any purpose you want. For instance, Dumbledore being gay is a total retcon.
Okay.
Because like, and usually you use
because after the fact that describes his like demeanor and personality more, or like
maybe it's just changing something after the fact.
Okay.
Like that's basically what it means.
Gotcha.
It's usually used as a negative term, particularly when it's unjustified or when it's not earned in the context of whatever you're talking about. In my opinion, would be the example that I would use is Dumbledore being described as gay after the fact, because there's just not textual evidence to suggest that other than the fact that he's unmarried and had a pen pal.
Okay.
I would call that retconning.
Got it.
You just go back and say, oh, that was because he was gay.
I felt like this whole movie was that.
Yeah, and I think I think some people feel that way. My
Yeah.
argument against the director's cut and all that stuff being retconned is that it actually is so integral for the story and the things that happen to have any kind of sense to them whatsoever. Like, I guess if the director's cut never existed, like, let's say it wasn't the original cut,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was never made afterwards, this movie would make no sense.
No.
It would just make no sense.